as a business person myself to find out what support is available, and I think the government could play a much larger part in actually providing that information resource to both those who are setting up in business and who support those who are setting up in business. I think that's quite a cost-effective and very important role that the government could do more for.
No, I think that's a fair criticism, that we're not very good at promoting what we do. We do lots of stuff, but it may look to the outside world a bit uncoordinated. And one of the things I've done is I've got together a group of entrepreneurs. We've got James Kahn from Dragon's Den, and Tim Campbell, who won the apprenticeship scheme 2 or 3 years back. And this is the point that they make, that look, you've got this great loan scheme, you've got a very good mentoring scheme, but nobody knows about it. So, I mean, we can create websites, and we do that. That I think the point you made is right, and it was hammered home to me in this meeting I've just been at the Prince's Trust, that we've got to be much more skillful in marketing this stuff, and we've got to work with charitable sector like the Prince's Trust and with private enterprise to make sure that new businesses understand what we have to offer. Because although we don't have grants, to answer your first question, we do have a loan scheme, we do have very good mentoring schemes and so on, and we've got to make sure you know that.
We're revolutionary, so we're not kind of part of the system, we're kind of outside the box kind of system. So if you can help us, I know that's not your vested interest, but if you can help us, just put our weight behind it. Now I run a company that we're at the phase where we need to take it to another level, and we just need people to come with us to that level. But because it's not an idea that is common in society yet, do you see? And it's not a bad idea. It's the same way the banks generate their money. The bank, basically, what they do is what crowdfunding does. And they become this giant that becomes too big to fail. So please, what's the government doing? And how can you put your weight behind it?
No, you are preaching to the converted. I started life marching in support of revolutionaries, don't worry, I've been there. But yes, I mean, when I said earlier on we've been through a banking crisis, what it's meant is that the banks, are the traditional sources of funding for small companies, have largely closed to high-risk operations, what they see as high-risk operations that don't have security. So a whole lot of new things are springing up. One of them is supply chain funding, that if you are a supplier to a Rolls-Royce or something, they will now provide you with the credit that you'd hitherto got from a bank. There is also the growth of what's called peer-to-peer lending, that in many kind of cities and small towns you get local people who've got a pot of money. They don't want to put it in the bank because they don't get any interest, so they're looking for businesses to put their money into. So peer-to-peer lending is another. And the third is what you describe, which is crowdfinancing, which is operating through internet. I've met quite a few companies who've raised their money that way. We're all in favour of it, and we're trying in a practical way to encourage it, because one of the things I've started is a system of supporting non-bank finance. I've got 100 million or so out of the Treasury for the first round, and we've invited some of the companies who are doing crowdfinancing to bid for that pot of money to support what they're doing. And in fact the bids are, I think within the next few weeks we'll be announcing the results of that. So the crowdfunding is getting government support, and because there's always a danger with these new things that you get scams, right? You have to be a bit careful.